your jobs that you did? Your responsibility?
Well, he had a lot of jobs. He cleaned the lamps the same as me.
What'd you say, Bernadine?
The responsibilities that you had as a youth on the bar.
Oh,
What did you do?
maybe sweep the deck or wash the deck down with water dipped up from the canal. And a lot of boats had what they call stone decks in them. The floor was raised up about 3 feet from the bottom of the boat. And when the goddamn boat sometimes sprung a leak, and I would have to go under the stone deck, we'd crawl along under the boat with a hired man. I'd hold the lantern and
They nailed a board over the leak.
I'd hold the lantern, he'd find the leak, and he'd cork it while I held the light so he could see what he was doing.
So what kind of trouble could kids get into on a canal boat?
They had no time to get in trouble.
Well,
They could fall in, couldn't they?
I did. I fell in 3 times. My father jumped in after me twice and got me out of the canal.
And you learned how to swim, huh? The third time you got out yourself.
No, the third time
No?
was in Middleport. We'd stopped there because we was unloading gravel there. And me and my brother went over by the dry dock, and the man come to move the raft across the front of the dock. We asked him for a ride, and he said, yeah. So I guess I was stargazing. We got the other side, the raft hit the dock, and I fell in the canal. And he grabbed me by the hair and pulled me back.
What was the water like?
Well, I learned to swim down to Albany.
Was it deeper there? Oh, water colder? What about the Mohawk River, Glenn?
Well, most of the water from the Hudson come from the Mohawk.
Did you ever go down to New York City, down the Hudson too? with your
Oh,
parents?
yeah, a lot of times. He did too.
Sure. My father once took 2 loads of maple to the Steinway piano factory in Brooklyn.
So what was the woman's life like on the canal?
Well, she
They had to work to
work as all she done.
Oh, they didn't have to just
They were
lay
good
around,
cooks.
eat and sleep, huh?
And my mother tells it after she got the dinner dishes all clean, she mopped the cabin floor and straightened everything up. And then we went under a bridge, some boys threw some old swill from a pigsty right down into the cabin hatch and all over the floor, all corn cobs and junk. And she had to pick it up. And another thing in town, I wonder when you went through there, the kids would sometimes holler at you, "Canaler, Canaler, you'll never get rich, you'll die on the towpath, you son of a bitch."
Oh, they were cool. They were cool, weren't they?
Oh boy.
What kind of heat and stuff did the people have? What kind of heat did they have?
Well, just a black iron cook stove, and you kept a fire in that when the weather got cold.
They didn't have no trouble cooking.
Did they
They
cook
could
on,
build a fire like that.
they cooked on that too? They cooked
Yeah.
on that.
And in the summertime, you just had a fire at mealtime, and we used to saw up the boards for firewood.
That's right. Then coming back, there was a scrap.
Right, broken lumber in the cargo hold, and you'd use that for firewood to cook.
So you didn't have to pay out nothing. You got your water, you got your firewood, everything.
Oh, yes.
Well, I'll take that back. You did have to buy a little.
Canal Boatman by Richard Garrity. So he says, well, Rita, you know, this was from Dick's daughter in 1987. So I was looking through it, and I said to my father, did you read this book yet? It looks so good. He said, well, some of it. And I says, and I looked and I says, the author is Richard Garrity. And he says, I know him. And I said, wow, you know somebody important? A big celebrity, big author? So then I got my typewriter out and I wrote a letter to Mr. Garrity, and I says, and it was, I told my father's name and if he remembered him from Erie Canal. And then I sent the letter, and then pretty soon came back, Richard responded, and he said, boy, was I glad to receive that letter. He said, with a return address on it. He said, I waited so long to find out where you lived.
What do you think of this reunion?
Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, I think it's wonderful. Yeah, I think it's great.
You grew up on the canal system, right?
Yeah, barge canal.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, during the summer, I used to go on vacation and ride down the river, and I couldn't wait to go to the canal store, because there was the candy and ice cream and coloring books and crayons.
So is it something when you run into someone else who can experience the same thing?
Yes, yeah, it's very exciting.
I guess there aren't many left anymore who grew up along there, huh?
No, we only know 3 known survivors. Mr. Garrity, my father, and my Aunt Alma. And they think maybe there's more survivors, but they might be like 109 or, you know, in their 90s. But we can't get in touch with them because we don't know who they are.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Listen, I look forward to it.
How's
Nobody always
Salisbury
likes to go to the
spelled?
grocery
Uh-huh.
S-A-L-I-S-B-U-R-Y.
Okay. Is it
Well,
Glen with
the
1 or 2?
canal
One.
storekeepers
Okay.
was hard
You're
workers.
Bernadine?
They
Yeah.
sell kerosene,
Uh-huh.
And
hay, grain, everything.
D-E-A-N.
Parts, collars,
Anything you wanted for the canal, they had
Bernadine,
it.
what's your last?
Aluminum.
Salisbury.
Salisbury.
medicine, cough
Yeah.
medicine, all that stuff.
That's right.
The general
And yours,
stores.
daughter.
Right.
Richard, you were in Buffalo a lot. Do you remember much about the ship canal
Appreciate your coming.
Yeah,
and
we
the
got the
granaries?
This will be on Channel 5.
At
knows all
11
about that.
tonight.
Yeah, I
That
worked
should
in
be,
Buffalo
yeah.
Harbor for 27 years
Do you
on
live
harbor
here?
tug.
Yes.
Oh,
this is
okay.
my house.
And we towed the lake
Yeah, it
steamers
was,
in and out of the
On the
harbor.
barge canal one time, there was a storm
And,
up on
there's
Lake
2
Erie,
tugs there yet
and my
in
father called
service,
it a little
but they
blow.
only
The
put a
wind
crew
was
on them
blowing
when
and
there's a boat
the
due
waves were
to
hitting
come
the
in
barge.
and
The barge was empty.
ready to
It
go out.
goes up like this and down. And talk about a ride.
Because the first
More exciting
grain
than over at
elevator,
the state fair.
grain elevator was invented in Buffalo.
That's right.
There was
And
a
it's,
pot that
I
kept
think it
going back
was,
and forth, and it lulled me to
I
sleep.
can't remember the name of the company.
Samuel
I
got
was afraid
Yeah.
that I wanted to laugh, but
And
I
I guess,
knew it was so serious.
in that area, especially during the heyday of the canal, it was a pretty wild area.
And I got pneumonia, the
Yeah,
pump was against the wall.
yeah.
And
It used to be
the
a
sun
street
was
there,
shining,
Canal
the storm
Street.
was
Canal Street.
Claimed there was a murder a day
yeah,
on
then we
Canal
went down to
Street
Hudson
when
and
Canal
I saw West Point,
was
Statue
at
of
its
Liberty.
peak.
You see, the
Never
The
forget
ship-
my first
the
subway
ship
ride.
canal
Go through the
killed
turnstile.
the barge
Just
canal.
like that song, the
Yeah.
subway
Yeah.
does rumble and roar.
You said they could go
And then you go by, you
on-
see the
in,
signs
right
advertising.
in
the
Chicago,
products.
right wherever they wanted to
That was
go.
fun.
Sure.
Yeah, ferry ride.
And now the Welland Canal is
And
complaining
the
they're
most
only
exciting
doing
thing
half
when
the
I went to New York
business
City and looked up, and saw those big
last year
buildings.
than they did
Oh.
the year before
It's like-
because the grain was starting to move out to the
It was
Pacific
so
coast
startling.
and railroad
You can
cars
always
and
tell the
then loaded
tourists in
into
New
the
York,
boat.
they're the ones
Yeah,
who are
see?
Yes.
walking around looking
But
up.
the seaway
I
killed
thought
the barge
Syracuse was
canal.
big.
Yeah.
And there's so many
The
people.
barge
down
canal
there.
now is all for pleasure.
Awful people.
Mhm.
They got boats on that
Thank you
there.
very much.
And I take your
That's
picture
what we
with them.
missed out. We ought to bought one of them
Would
kind
you
of
like,
boats.
Fine, we meet each other,
Very
right?
nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Pictures
Thank you,
there.
sir.
Good to meet you.
You have a nice day.
You want
I'll
to
take
sit
your
together?
picture, sir. Yeah, you're on the other end, huh? Okay, chief.
Geez.
Different situation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Comment.